Deep in the royal palace of Alexandria, under a blanket of stars, a young queen was about to make the most dangerous decision of her life. Her name was Cleopatra, and she was only 18 years old. Tonight, everything she had worked for hung in the balance, and one wrong move could mean the end of Egypt as she knew it. Cleopatra wasn't just any ordinary teenager. She was the brilliant young queen of Egypt, speaking 9 different languages and ruling over one of the most powerful kingdoms in the ancient world. For 3 years, she had worked tirelessly to protect her people and keep Egypt strong. But she had a problem, a big one. Her younger brother Ptolemy and his advisors had turned against her. They wanted to rule Egypt without her, even though she was the rightful pharaoh. Cleopatra had always believed in working together, but her brother saw her intelligence and popularity as a threat. The palace that had once felt like home was now filled with enemies. One morning, Cleopatra discovered that her brother's soldiers were planning to capture her. She had to make a heartbreaking choice: stay and fight a war that would hurt innocent Egyptians, or flee into the dangerous desert. Choosing her people's safety over her own, the young queen disguised herself and escaped into the wilderness. For months, Cleopatra lived in exile with only her most trusted friends. Every night under the desert stars, she studied maps and planned her return. She knew that simply fighting her way back wouldn't work, too many people would get hurt. She needed to be clever, not just brave. But how could one young woman win back an entire kingdom? Then Cleopatra learned that Julius Caesar, the most powerful Roman general, had arrived in Alexandria. This was her chance. If she could convince Caesar to listen to her side of the story, maybe he would help her reclaim her throne peacefully. But there was one huge problem: the palace was surrounded by her brother's guards. Cleopatra came up with the most daring plan anyone had ever heard. Her trusted servant would row her across the harbor in a small boat, then smuggle her into the palace rolled up inside a carpet. It sounds crazy, but it was the only way to reach Caesar without being caught by the guards. Everything depended on this one moment. That night, Cleopatra took the biggest risk of her life. As the carpet unrolled at Caesar's feet, out stepped the young queen in all her royal splendor. Caesar was completely amazed. No one had ever been so bold. Instead of being angry, he was impressed by her courage and creativity. Finally, someone would listen to her story. Cleopatra's brave gamble worked. Caesar was so impressed by her intelligence and determination that he agreed to help her. Without a single battle, she reclaimed her throne and became the sole ruler of Egypt. The young queen who had risked everything to avoid hurting her people had won through wisdom and courage, not violence. Cleopatra's midnight adventure teaches us something amazing: sometimes the most creative solutions work better than fighting. When facing impossible challenges, she chose cleverness over conflict and courage over fear. Just like this remarkable young queen, you too can solve big problems by thinking outside the box and believing in yourself. What creative solution will you come up with next?